Hola, everyone. So well done, Brazil, for celebrating World Obesity Day. I'm Boyd Swinburn. I'm a professor of population nutrition and global health at University of Auckland, and I'd just like to share a few thoughts on World Obesity Day. I used to be involved in the World Obesity Federation and the Policy and Prevention section, and before that co-chairing International Obesity Task Force. So I'm very keen on this World Obesity Day as a way of increasing the awareness of particular issues around obesity, and the theme of one this year is called Changing Perspectives. So just in relation to Brazil and how Brazil is tracking, over the last 30 years, Brazil has done fantastic work on reducing undernutrition. You can see that reducing substantially, but in the light blue line, you can see the increase in obesity, and the mid blue line is an increase in dietary risks, which are some of the dietary patterns which increase the risk for chronic diseases, including obesity. So you've got on top of one part of a nutrition problem, but you've got another one increasing all the time. So the themes for World Obesity Day, first of all, the lived experience of obesity, increasing the understanding and the knowledge around social stigma and the weight bias. This is a burden that people with obesity do carry throughout their lives, and it's a very powerful psychological and social burden that they have to carry. So understanding from their perspective, with their voices, the multiple challenges of obesity. And when we frame it and talk about obesity as an issue, putting the emphasis on the obesogenic food environments, not on the individual, is the problem. You know, the fact that we've got all the countries in the world increasing in obesity is not because we've had a global collapse of willpower. It's because the obesogenic food environments are just increasing in every corner of the earth. The second theme is understanding the complexity of obesity, and I'll talk for a little bit about ultra-processed foods, and thirdly, around collective action. So just going back first to the lived experience of obesity, there's a very valuable image bank that the World Obesity Federation has to portray obesity in a light which is non-stigmatizing. So often you'll see in the media characteristics of photos of people with obesity, and there might be a big hamburger next door, or you know, showing them as associated with gluttony and sloth. But there are better ways of having a picture related to obesity which is non-stigmatizing, showing reading or other activities, transport, buying foods in markets, just at work, just doing normal everyday things. These are kind of non-stigmatizing views of obesity, and the media and the public and health professionals have a big role to play in trying to reduce this stigmatization. In relation to ultra-processed foods, some of you will be aware that this is a classification called an overclassification, which categorizes foods by their level of processing. It was developed by Professor Carlos Monteiro, who's a great, who I'm a great fan of. He's a hero of mine from University of Sao Paulo. And this has really transformed how we think about it. So ultra-processed foods are formulations of ingredients put together industrially in a company, typically created by a whole series of industrial techniques and processes using cheap ingredients. So you'll be aware of all of these products. It's all of these products that create the problems that we face with obesity. So in terms of understanding the complexity, we have to understand how we're hooked into this ultra-processed food system. So they make very palatable foods, hyper-palatable foods. That changes our taste preferences. Therefore, we purchase more. Therefore, they get more profits. Therefore, they increase it in new products, and we get more hyper-palatable, ultra-processed foods on the market. So that's fine. That's a business model. The trouble is it's creating all of these bad outcomes, especially for obesity. So I think the focus has to be on this ultra-processed food system. And then about working together and doing it together. And really, Brazil is a leader in this area. You have the dietary guidelines for the Brazilian population. They're a world-leading set of guidelines, which includes social and environmental aspects. Conselho, which was or is, I hope it's been resurrected, a very strong democratic process for developing food policies. The school food program, front of pack labeling system, academic leadership. Really, Brazil has great leadership in this area. And I know there was knocked back a bit with the presidency of Bolsonaro, but I hope that it's coming back to its previous state. And in fact, a Lancet article that I led, we made a highlight of the Brazilian food and nutrition and security system. So really bring that back to be a world leader again. So my final messages for World Obesity Day: give people with obesity a stronger voice, work hard to reduce the weight bias that they suffer, focus on the ultra-processed foods as the problem, not the people hooked on them, and strengthen Brazil's intersectoral systems for healthy, sustainable foods. So I hope you have a great World Obesity Day and you celebrate it recognizing those themes. Thank you very much. Muito obrigado.